It's the big one. Manchester United versus Arsenal. The international break is over. Hooray! Pointless England friendly game against Spain in the week is out the way. And we're moving on to proper football. Football that excites all fans. Everyone's bored of the international football. Just scrap it. Friendly, scrap them. Move on to the serious stuff. This is a mammoth game. We're on the back of that 3-1 victory against Swansea. They were a poor side. Arsenal are not a poor side. And if we want to stand any chance of finishing at least in the top four, which should be the minimum expectations from this season, then we have to be looking to get a result in this game. This one is at Old Trafford. Generally, over the years, okay, the last few years haven't been as great against Arsenal. We did get hammered away at Arsenal last year, but did beat them at home. But over the previous few years, certainly under Sir Alex Ferguson in his latter years, we were winning this fixture on a regular basis, getting positive results, sometimes hammering these very, very well. Obviously, at that time, we had a better team than we do now, and Arsenal had a worse team, but we've had a good upper hand over the years, but the gap has closed up, and now it has shifted towards Arsenal, and at this moment in time, they are higher in the league than us and better than us, which it pains me to say, because when I look at the fixtures at the start of the season, this one along with Liverpool is always the two fixtures that I look out for, especially at Old Trafford. These games over the years, I've been so excited to watch them. The likes of Van Nistelrooy, Roy Keane, Patrick Vieira, all these great players playing in these games, and there has been some crackers down the years. Growing up, when it was in the early years of the Premier League, Manchester United battling out with Arsenal for the Premier League title. That is why I hate Arsenal as one of my fiercest rivals. Going into this game, we've got problems. Big problems. We've got question marks over injuries, and we've got Zlatan Ibrahimovic out, which is a real shame. After that stupid booking he got in the last game against Swansea, Mourinho should have took him off on that game. The game's already won. 3-1, you take him off. Should have took Pogba off as well, because I think he's only one game yellow card away from missing a game, which will be worrying if he can pick that up anytime soon, because we've got to go on a run now. There's none of this fannying and shitting around now. We've just got to start winning games consistently, get 3, 4, 5 wins on the bounce at some point, because otherwise we're never going to challenge for that top four. And that is the bare minimum Manchester United should be aiming for this season. The bare minimum. We should be challenging for the league. That is the bare minimum. But with the other teams playing so well above us, but if we can win this, I do believe that we will be something like 3 points behind Arsenal. They've probably got a much better goal difference, but 3 points behind, what's that? Like one game and a draw if you've got better goal difference. So that's nothing if we can win this game, but that is the case, winning the game. When we've thought maybe we could close the gap, we have a shit result, we may have a better result the next game, and we're just not getting closer. We need to get that run of consistency. But as I say, Swansea were a poor side and Arsenal are a good side. With our problems at the back, I'm hoping that Luke Shaw will recover and be fit for this game. Obviously criticised, but I think he does need to play. Christ knows what the partnership's going to be if he doesn't play. Probably be Rojo and Blind as your centre-backs. And then Darmian at right-back. That's providing that Shaw can play with Blind at the centre, because I presume Smalling has got this broken toe apparently. I really don't know. Some reports were saying it's not as bad as first feared, but he will miss this game. I'm 100% almost sure of it. I haven't read the reports, but which is a blow with Bailly out as well. It's leaving us a bit thin with Rojo not really many people's favourites. We could play Jones there if Shaw is not fit and put Blind to left back, which would have to do. Moving on into the midfield, Herrera, Pogba and Carrick has to be the midfield three. Then Christ knows what he's gonna do. Probably Wayne Rooney's gonna get in there somewhere. Personally, I don't mind seeing Wayne Rooney out in a wide position sometimes. He's actually assisted quite a few goals this season and didn't do too bad in that last game. He has played decent stuff when he's played out wide actually this season. You look back to that little burst in that game against Hull City where he skinned the defender and put the ball in for Marcus Rashford. he has shown flashes of brilliance at times, but hopefully he can show a bit of that consistency that he showed against Swansea, because he was at a better level in that game. And I would put Marcus Rashford up front, and it'll probably be Jesse Lingard out on the other hand side. He may choose to go with Juan Mata in there, I don't know, but I'll go for something like that. It's really difficult to say, because with the injury problems we've got and players in and out, he hasn't really been able to get a consistent team together this season so far. He really does need to find his best team. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Fellaini is fit, if he doesn't play in there instead of Carrick, which will be a massive blow. But Carrick has got to be in there. He might not go for a midfield three, he might just play Carrick, Pogba, in which case then Wayne Rooney would probably go into the number 10 maybe, or maybe, I mean, he may even go up front, Wayne Rooney. There's lots of options that Jose Mourinho could go for in this game. He could even play Martial, but I think that Martial will start on the bench. And it is a worry that Martial's form and the lack of game time, it is concerning me. He's not even getting in the France team now. It is a worry. He really does need to get some consistency in his game, because we really do need to start racking these points up in the Premier League if we're to get anywhere up and shooting up the top of the table. But Arsenal have got problems themselves. Apparently Hector Bellerin was injured, or was a doubt before. I think he is recovered and will play. Alexis Sanchez was injured and potentially was a doubt, but he played for Chile, so the injury concerns there probably aren't too bad for Arsenal. But they're a fantastic team at times, Arsenal. I mean, they always let Arsenal fans down in the title race, and will just bottle it probably again this season. But they can play some very, very decent football, score a lot of goals at times. Fans must be absolutely frustrated. But Sanchez will be that main man up front. They've rested Mesut Ozil this week for the internationals, so he will be fit and fresh, and he has been banging form this season. But they've got so many fantastic players in and around the pitch. Alex Iwobi's been playing pretty well this season. If Theo Walcott plays, he was dangerous a few weeks ago. Did have a couple of games out. Maybe he's gone off the ball a bit, but he was looking a lot more dangerous, and looks more like he was coming of age. He's just always had them injury problems, which has just been stop-start for his whole season. But he was a player in his younger years that I really did rate, Walcott, and could cause Manchester United some problems. I think this game's going to be really difficult for Manchester United. I'm not too confident that Manchester United can get the victory in this game with our injury problems and our bans and all sorts like that. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this game. Now, that would be a bit of a kick in the teeth for me, because this is at home, and I really want us to beat Arsenal at home. But Arsenal haven't lost for a long while in the Premier League. They did lose at home to Liverpool, and I think that's the only game they've lost all season, which is decent. They have drawn a few games. Their away form's actually been better than their home form, but going to Old Trafford, thankfully we aren't losing so many games like we were under David Moyes at Old Trafford. But I'm still expecting a difficult game. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Hopefully we can get the win, though. We will have to wait and see. Anyway, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll talk to you all again soon.